as a first generation immigrant kid from parents from Mexico. They relocated to Los Angeles in the San Fernando Valley region, which is Silmar, California, which is a low-income community. And I grew up in poverty my entire life. So for me, I remember growing up in Section 8 housing. So from the inside of my apartment home, I was exposed to like asbestos, lead paint. My parents never wanted to complain about that because they felt that, they're afraid to get kicked out. But internally, my parents did a very good job of limiting plastics in our house. Like my mom would, scream at me if I tried getting a 99-cent store plastic toy, and she's like, they have lead, like it'll hurt your head. So, she did a really good job on that. But when it came from the exterior side and learning about my environment is that I was on San Fernando Road, which was one of the longest roads in Los Angeles. And I was one street away from the large train tracks that crossed across California. So from being exposed to freight trains that usually expose high particulate matter to the Metrolink to a street above it was where all the chemical facilities were and manufacturing facilities. And I remember growing up as a kid seeing these two large like pipes from the one of the chemical facilities always like releasing something. I was always wondering, I wonder what it is and what it's doing. And I remember in the summer when my parents, since we didn't have any AC and we had poor insulation, it would get very hot inside. We turn on the fan, and I remember every morning waking up with burning eyes, but also a burning throat. And I thought, maybe, I was, mouth breathing or something. And I remember, that really informed me as I got older. When I was in high school, learned about environmental justice, and my teacher said, your zip code determines your health and your class. And I was like, what do you mean? And so when I studied environmental science at Berkeley, became an environmental scientist and learned more about, what toxic pollution can cause for not just, your brain, but also like your bodies and your other parts. That really got me invested in understanding the ways in which communities are really understanding the impacts. And I guess when it comes to